This book provides a deep understanding of financial literacy, wealth-building strategies, and the mindset necessary for achieving financial success. At its core, it contrasts the lives of two fathers, one rich and one poor. Their differing beliefs and decisions reveal how financial habits shape one's economic future. In this video, we'll break down the 6 essential lessons, key principles, and motivating stories from Rich Dad, Poor Dad in an easy-to-understand way. If you're looking to improve your financial situation, this video will be a helpful guide. You'll learn how to make money work for you, the distinction between assets and liabilities, why financial education is more important than traditional schooling, how wealthy individuals think and act to build lasting prosperity. If you find this video valuable, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Our mission is to empower you with knowledge that can change your life. Let's explore the life-changing lessons from Robert Kiyosaki's remarkable book. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of this book, had 2 father figures. His biological father, highly educated with a PhD, struggled financially throughout his life. Kiyosaki referred to him as the poor dad. In contrast, his friend Mike's father, though lacking formal education, was financially wise and built significant wealth. Kiyosaki called him the rich dad. You might wonder how someone can have 2 fathers. The answer lies in their distinct roles in his life. Kiyosaki's real father followed the traditional route to success: study hard, get good grades, and secure a stable job. However, the rich dad imparted life lessons that schools don't teach: how to create wealth, manage money, and think entrepreneurially. One of the key lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad is, the rich don't work for money. At first, this may seem counterintuitive, but let me illustrate with a story. A man had a donkey, and in order to make it work harder, he hung a carrot in front of it. The donkey, eager to reach the carrot, worked tirelessly, unaware that it was only a mirage. Many people, like that donkey, spend their lives chasing the carrot of wealth, working endlessly, only to find themselves trapped in a cycle of perpetual labor. The key takeaway here is, don't just work for money. Learn how to make money work for you. By mastering financial principles, investing in assets, and developing the right mindset, you can break free from the rat race and unlock true financial freedom. As we continue to explore these lessons, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Let's journey together toward the knowledge that can transform your financial future. If you want to achieve wealth, don't just work for money. Fear and greed often dominate the path to wealth. As you progress on your journey to financial success, fear of poverty drives you to work harder, while greed fuels dreams of all the material things money can buy. These emotions trap many in a constant cycle of chasing money, what Rich Dad refers to as the rat race. Here's how it works. You earn more, but your expenses also rise. You continue working hard to earn more, but it's an endless trap, a cycle driven by fear and greed. To break free, you must change your perspective. Instead of chasing money, focus on making money work for you. If you're employed, don't work just for the paycheck. That paycheck may barely cover your expenses, creating a month-to-month cycle of survival. You might switch jobs for better pay, but you're still working for money. This is why many never achieve true wealth. The first step to breaking this cycle is to take responsibility for your life. Ask yourself, am I working merely for security? A job that offers security or a steady paycheck may give you peace of mind, but it won't make you wealthy. If you believe it will, you're mistaken. To truly build wealth, you must remove fear from your mindset. Fear of not having enough and the greed for more often lead to impulsive decisions and actions. While these emotions are natural, Don't let them control your life. Instead, take a step back, think carefully, and use your mind to guide your decisions. Every morning, ask yourself, are you truly tapping into your full potential? Are you maximizing your capabilities? Stop thinking like the majority, who work only for money. Stop blaming your boss for low pay or comparing yourself to others. Take responsibility for your situation. Only then can you start solving your problems. This is the first lesson that Rich Dad taught Robert Kiyosaki. To illustrate this, Rich Dad had Robert work at a convenience store without pay. This experience helped Robert shift his focus from immediate earnings to understanding how to make money work for him, instead of working endlessly for money. Let go of fear and greed, and shift your mindset from merely earning money to creating opportunities where money comes to you. That's the true path to wealth and freedom. How a business idea became a valuable lesson about money. While working at the convenience store, Robert observed something unusual. The store clerk would tear off the front covers of old comic books, keep one half, and discard the other. Later, a distributor would collect the discarded covers, crediting the store and replacing them with new comics. Curious, Robert asked the distributor if he could keep the discarded comic covers. The distributor agreed, with one condition: they could not be sold. This sparked an idea in Robert's mind. He began renting the old comic books to friends and other children for 10 cents each, with a 2-hour reading limit per book. Robert didn't have to sell the comics or even manage the operation himself. Instead, he hired Mike's sister to oversee the business, paying her $1 per week. Within a week, the business earned $9.50, teaching Robert a key lesson: make money work for you, rather than working for money. The importance of financial literacy. This lesson laid the foundation for the second principle: the importance of financial literacy. While many people know how to earn money, few understand how to manage and sustain it. A famous meeting at the Edgewater Beach Hotel in Chicago in 1923 brought together some of the world's wealthiest businessmen, including Charles Schwab, the head of a major steel company, and Samuel Insull, a leading utility president. Yet, 25 years later, many of these individuals lost their fortunes. Some went bankrupt, others suffered mental instability, and a few even took their own lives. The key takeaway? Earning money is not enough. Knowing how to preserve, grow, and manage it is what truly leads to lasting wealth. Many lottery winners, for instance, experience a brief period of lavish spending, only to return to their previous financial struggles. This cycle occurs because they lack financial literacy. To build lasting wealth, you must establish a solid foundation, just like constructing a skyscraper. Without a strong base, the structure will inevitably collapse. However, many people attempt to build their financial empire on a weak foundation. While schools teach us how to earn a living, they rarely educate us on managing finances. Rich Dad recognized this gap and focused on making Robert financially literate, whereas Poor Dad only prioritized academic education. Understanding assets and liabilities. The third key lesson centers around understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. Although this concept seems simple, it is foundational to wealth creation. Many middle-class and poor individuals mistakenly treat liabilities, such as loans, cars, or even houses, as assets. In contrast, the wealthy focus on acquiring true assets that generate income. Rich Dad adhered to the principle of KISS, keep it simple, stupid. He taught Robert and Mike the critical difference between assets and liabilities. This straightforward yet powerful lesson helped them establish a strong financial base. To achieve financial success, prioritize acquiring assets, things that generate income for you. Avoid confusing liabilities with assets as this common mistake traps many people in financial hardship. By understanding this distinction, you can create a sustainable path to wealth and financial freedom. The difference between assets and liabilities. A simple, yet overlooked truth. If becoming wealthy were as easy as buying assets, everyone would be rich. But the reality is more complex. While the concept is clear, many people don't truly understand it. They may believe they understand the difference between assets and liabilities, but what they possess is basic literacy, not financial literacy. Financial literacy goes beyond general knowledge. It includes understanding income statements and balance sheets. For example, an income statement outlines how much money you earn, income, and how much you spend, expenses, while a balance sheet reflects the balance between your assets and liabilities. What are assets and liabilities? Assets are items that generate income for you. For example, if you purchase a property and rent it out, the rental income can cover your mortgage payments. Over time, the property appreciates, and it continues to provide you with passive income. Liabilities, on the other hand, drain money from your pocket. For example, buying a house to live in doesn't generate income for you, yet you're still responsible for paying the mortgage, utilities, and maintenance costs. Recognizing this distinction is vital. To accumulate wealth, focus on acquiring assets. If you continue accumulating liabilities, financial struggles will persist. Wealthy individuals thrive because they follow the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. They understand that the key to wealth is in acquiring assets, not liabilities. The middle class trap. The middle class often falls into a cycle where their income is consumed entirely by liabilities. They work hard and earn a decent salary, but the money goes toward mortgages, car loans, rent, credit card bills, utility payments, and other expenses. As a result, they have little or no savings to invest in assets, keeping them stuck in the same financial position. The poor, living day to day. The poor often face a different struggle. They have fewer liabilities but also lack assets. Their income typically covers daily expenses, such as rent, transportation, food, and taxes. With no surplus to save or invest, they sometimes rely on loans, further deepening their financial challenges. The rich, growing wealth through assets. The wealthy take a different approach by using their money to purchase assets that generate additional income. For instance, they might take out a loan to buy a property, rent it out, and use the rental income to cover the loan while pocketing the surplus. Here's how it works. If a property requires a $1,000 loan payment, the owner charges $1,200 in rent. They pay the bank $1,000 and keep the remaining $200 as profit. Over time, the property is fully paid off, and the rental income becomes pure profit. This is how the rich make money work for them, rather than working for money. A shift in mindset. Then versus now. In 1967, many children aspired to become doctors, engineers, or other professionals, believing that good grades and high-paying jobs were the keys to financial success. Although many of those children achieved their dreams, some still struggle financially. Why? Because they focused solely on earning more money without understanding how to manage it effectively. Today, aspirations have shifted. Many young people dream of becoming athletes, CEOs, or movie stars. While these careers can bring fame and fortune, financial literacy remains crucial to sustaining wealth in any field. The key takeaway: the difference between the rich and the poor is not only in their income, but also in how they manage their money. Financial freedom lies in understanding and applying the principles of assets and liabilities. Focus on building assets that generate income. Avoid unnecessary liabilities, and let your money work for you. Breaking free from the rat race. A path to financial independence. The dream of becoming a rock star or excelling in unconventional careers is more prevalent today than ever before. Why? Because many have come to realize that relying solely on good grades and traditional education isn't enough to secure long-term financial success. Increasingly, financial struggles are impacting young couples entering the workforce, often with high hopes but minimal financial knowledge. Newlyweds, for example, often believe that two incomes will double their financial capacity. They begin dreaming of a bigger house and start saving towards it. However, as their income rises, so do their expenses. Without proper financial education, this cycle continues, trapping them deeper in the rat race. Here's how it unfolds. The couple saves enough for a larger house, thinking they're increasing their wealth. But the new house comes with new liabilities: higher property taxes, maintenance costs, and additional expenses for furniture and vehicles. While their income grows, so do their expenses, and they eventually realize they're caught in an endless cycle of earning and spending. By the time they seek financial advice, they're already deeply entrenched in this pattern. When people approach financial experts like Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the typical question is, how can I become rich? However, the real issue isn't earning more money. It's learning how to manage the money you already have. As the saying goes, when you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. Most people fail to recognize that their financial struggles stem from poor money management, not a lack of income. The fear of standing out. One of the biggest obstacles to financial success is the fear of being different. Many people avoid taking risks or speaking out because they fear rejection or ridicule. This fear often drives them to follow the crowd, believing that if everyone else is doing something, it must be right. Society often tells us, your house is your biggest asset. Take out a loan, get promoted, earn more, and buy a bigger house. However, following this advice without question can lead to financial stagnation. Rich Dad taught Robert and his friend Mike that true strength comes from self-awareness. He often referred to the Japanese philosophy of the three powers: the sword, symbolizing strength; jewels, representing wealth; and the mirror, symbolizing self-awareness. Rich Dad believed the mirror was the most powerful of the three. The ability to look in the mirror and honestly ask yourself, am I doing the right thing, or am I just following the crowd, reveals your true potential. The poor and middle class often become slaves to money because they lack this introspection and let fear dictate their choices. Lessons from Rich Dad's meetings. At the age of 16, Robert and Mike attended every meeting that Rich Dad held with his accountants, managers, investors, and employees. Despite dropping out of school at 13, Rich Dad demonstrated how to lead educated professionals and successfully manage businesses. His teachings about leadership and financial management provided Robert with invaluable insights into building wealth, showing that financial success is about more than just earning. It's about managing and investing wisely. He was a man who refused to conform to societal norms. He embraced risks, disregarded the opinions of others, and focused on forging his own path. Through his meetings, Robert and Mike learned invaluable lessons about leadership, creativity, and the importance of thinking outside the box. The limitations of traditional education. During their time in school, Robert and Mike began to realize that the educational system often stifled creativity. The rigid rules and frameworks left little room for innovative thinking. They felt that traditional education was more focused on preparing students to fit into society's mold, rather than nurturing their individual talents. This realization further aligned with Rich Dad's philosophy. Success comes from breaking free from the crowd, taking calculated risks, and embracing financial literacy. The key takeaway: financial independence isn't solely about earning more. It's about managing what you earn and investing in assets that generate income. True wealth comes from creating financial systems that work for you. The power to succeed lies not in following the crowd, but in understanding yourself, managing your money, and seizing the right opportunities. Be bold, take risks, and carve your own path. The key difference between rich and poor: understanding assets versus liabilities. A common misconception is that success and wealth are achieved through good grades. Robert had a heated discussion with his poor dad one day, where his father insisted that owning a home was the best investment. However, Robert explained that his father was caught in the rat race, living paycheck to paycheck, always striving to meet his monthly expenses. For Robert, that house wasn't an asset, it was a liability. It was a drain on his finances without providing any return. Unfortunately, his poor dad couldn't see it that way. This fundamental difference in perspective on money and investments highlighted the contrasting views between Robert's two dads. His poor dad couldn't comprehend that most people spend their lives paying off loans. They buy homes with long-term loans, often for 30 years, and when the loan is finally paid off, they take out another one for a bigger house, continuing the cycle. The problem with this approach is that people end up with more debt than the value of their homes. The real issue is that people are unable to invest in anything else. All their money is tied up in a house that isn't generating wealth. By focusing on building assets, their financial future could be much more prosperous. For example, Robert's wife's parents bought a large house, thinking it was a smart investment. They considered it an asset, just as most people do. However, when they received their property tax bill of $1,000, they were shocked. Since they were retired, this unexpected expense put a strain on their retirement budget. While we're not suggesting you shouldn't buy a new home, we recommend that instead of spending all your money on a larger house, you invest in assets. Over time, those assets will generate income, allowing you to afford a new house without relying on loans. Why do the rich keep getting richer, while the middle class stays stuck? The answer is simple. The rich buy assets that continue to generate wealth. Their investments make money for them, and they use that income to cover their expenses. Meanwhile, the middle class spends all their income just to keep up with their expenses, waiting for payday each month. When their salary increases, their expenses rise proportionally, and they end up exactly where they started, stuck in the same financial place. In a society heavily burdened by debt, many people mistakenly believe their home is an asset. This misconception is a significant factor in why so many remain trapped in financial struggles. When individuals receive a salary raise, they often see it as an opportunity to upgrade to a bigger house, assuming it's a smart financial decision. However, if that money were invested wisely, their financial situation could be transformed. Unfortunately, most people spend their lives working diligently at their jobs, only to rely on the security of their paycheck, overwhelmed by debt and unable to take risks, such as quitting their job. Now, ask yourself, if you were to leave your job today, how long could you survive without a paycheck? If you haven't focused on building assets and have instead acquired liabilities, your future could become quite challenging. Net worth alone doesn't ensure financial security. It only reflects your wealth on paper. True wealth is measured by how much your money is working for you. We help you understand the true meaning of financial literacy. It's not just about how much you earn or the value of your assets. It's about how you use your money to create lasting wealth. The wealthy understand this principle, which is why they continue to build wealth while others remain stuck in the rat race. Building wealth through assets. Key lessons on financial success. Imagine owning an asset that generates $3,000 in income every month, but your expenses total $6,000. In this case, you would only be able to survive for half the month. The solution? Increase the income from your asset. Once your assets generate enough income to cover your expenses, you won't become an overnight millionaire, but you will begin to build enduring wealth. Even if you decide to quit your job, your assets will cover all your expenses. The key to wealth is ensuring that the growth of your assets outpaces your expenses. Focus on your own business. In 1947, Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, gave a speech to an MBA class. After the lecture, the students invited him for drinks, eager to learn more. During the conversation, Ray asked, "Do you know what business I'm really in?" While everyone knew he sold hamburgers, Ray smiled and explained that his true business was real estate. McDonald's meticulously selects the location for each franchise, and with every franchise, the land is also sold. This means that McDonald's franchisees must purchase not only the franchise rights, but also the land, positioning McDonald's as a real estate business as well. This was a key lesson Robert's wealthy dad imparted to him. Many people work for everyone else but themselves. They pay taxes, work for the government, their employers, and banks. This happens because our education system trains us to be employees, not employers. What you study often dictates what you become. If you study science, you become a doctor. If you study math, you become an engineer. But true financial independence comes from shifting the focus to building your own business and assets. The real issue many students face is failing to distinguish between a job and a business. When asked, "What's your business?" you should never respond with "I'm a doctor" or "I'm a banker." These are professions, not businesses. To create true wealth, you must treat whatever you do as your own business. Don't spend your life working to enrich someone else. Work to build a better life for yourself. Many people don't realize until later in life that their home loan is actually draining their finances. They once believed their home was an asset, but in reality, it was never an asset. Similarly, when they purchased a car, the associated expenses turned it into a liability. These types of financial mistakes can have long-term effects on wealth accumulation. This is why we emphasize focusing on assets instead of income. A common misconception is that luxury purchases are assets. In reality, they are liabilities because their value begins to depreciate the moment you begin to use them. For example, cars lose 25% of their value as soon as they're driven off the lot. When investing, it's important to focus on assets that generate passive income, businesses where your presence isn't required daily, and investments like real estate, stocks, and bonds. Robert, following his wealthy dad's advice, invested in real estate and stocks, particularly in small companies. He never quit his job, but worked to strengthen his asset column, ensuring every dollar he earned worked for him. If you want to buy luxury items, that's fine. But remember, the key difference between the wealthy and the middle class is that the middle class spends their money on luxuries as soon as they receive it, while the wealthy invest first and buy luxuries later. We stress the importance of understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, and focus on building wealth through assets. Financial literacy is the foundation of true financial freedom. The wealth-building secrets of the rich. Understanding financial intelligence. After grasping the core concepts of financial success, the next lesson reveals the greatest secret of the wealthy. They create money. When Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, he patented it. But as his business grew, it became more difficult to manage. He approached Western Union and offered to sell both his patent and his small company for $100,000. The president of Western Union rejected the offer, believing the price was too high. Later, a larger company, AT&T, was born. Robert, who has been teaching professionally since 1984, learned one key lesson after teaching thousands of people. Everyone has potential, but self-doubt often holds people back. After leaving school, we realize that good grades alone aren't enough to succeed. It's not only the smart people who get ahead, but those who are bold and courageous. To become financially successful, you need both knowledge and the courage to act on it. Most people are unwilling to take financial risks, but taking calculated risks is essential to becoming wealthy. In the coming years, a new Bill Gates or Alexander Graham Bell could emerge, while others may face financial ruin. It's up to you to decide who you want to be. If you raise your financial IQ, you can achieve great things. If not, the future could prove even more challenging. What's important is that today is the best time to act. As the saying goes, when one thing goes out, another comes in. Many are struggling financially today because their mindset is outdated. Instead of acknowledging their mistakes, they blame external factors like their employers or new technologies. What was once an asset can now become a liability. To succeed, you must stay updated and adaptable. To teach people how money works, Robert created the game Cash Flow, which shows the path to wealth and how to break free from the rat race. One day, a woman played the game and won a major prize, represented by a vote card. Initially thrilled, her excitement quickly turned to frustration when she learned that she would need to pay a large amount in taxes to claim her prize. The prize, which had seemed like an asset, now felt like a liability. She requested a refund. Later, after reflecting, she realized the concept behind the game and began to understand how money works in real life. Her frustration was understandable, as we often get frustrated with things we don't fully understand. We tend to blame external factors for our problems, but stepping back and understanding the situation is key to winning the game of life. Many people win substantial amounts of money in the cash flow game, but struggle to manage it because their old mindset limits their growth. Eventually, they lose it all. Some claim they lost because they didn't have the right cards. Many people spend their lives waiting for the right opportunity, but when it finally comes, they hesitate, thinking they don't have the money. Others might get both the money and the opportunity, but still fail to recognize and seize the opportunity. Financial intelligence, the key to creating wealth. Financial intelligence is about being resourceful and creative with your money. When faced with an opportunity, how will you manage it if you don't have the necessary funds? Conversely, if you have the money but no opportunity, what will you do with it? Your financial intelligence determines your ability to spot opportunities and build wealth, no matter where you start. The lesson is clear. The wealthy create money by leveraging knowledge, courage, and the ability to adapt to evolving circumstances. Our goal is to equip you with the mindset and tools to understand how money works, empowering you to build your own wealth and achieve financial independence. Creating opportunities and investing in your mind for financial growth. Many people believe that the only way to achieve wealth is by working hard for money. However, the true key to success is learning how to create opportunities for yourself rather than waiting for them. The real asset is not money itself, but knowing how to use it effectively. Understanding that what we desire can be built through money is critical for financial success. Our minds are our most valuable asset, and how we choose to use them determines whether we achieve great wealth or remain financially stagnant. To walk the path of success, you must cultivate the desire to grow your money within yourself. Investing in your greatest asset, your mind, is essential. To become financially intelligent, you need to invest in knowledge and understanding. Let's explore this with a real-life example. In the 1990s, Arizona and Phoenix faced tough economic conditions. Residents were advised to save $100 each month for a rainy day. While saving money is generally good advice, the question remains, what's the point of saving if you're not investing for growth? It would be far more beneficial to invest a portion of that savings, as it could yield returns over time. During this economic downturn, many people were selling properties at a loss, creating a unique opportunity for investors. Robert, for example, bought a property valued at $100,000 for just $50,000. He then placed an ad to sell it for $60,000. The response was overwhelming, and within 5 hours, Robert had earned $40,000 from this transaction simply by leveraging his asset and capitalizing on the opportunity. The $40,000 he made came from his asset column and was earned tax-free, as it was generated from the down payment made by the buyer. Over time, this strategy helped Robert's business grow to the point where it covered expenses such as car maintenance, gas, insurance, client dinners, and more, all pre-tax, thanks to the opportunities he seized. Several years later, the house that was initially sold for $60,000 appreciated in value and was now worth $200,000. While opportunities were still present, they had become less frequent, requiring Robert to invest in valuable assets and his time. You may now ask yourself, why save money and pay taxes when I can earn more through investments? Instead of relying on savings that yield small interest and are taxed, it's far more beneficial to invest both your time and money into your most powerful asset, your mind. Becoming financially intelligent enables you to capitalize on opportunities in any market, whether it's booming or in decline. As technology continues to advance, market fluctuations will always occur. The stock market, for example, will rise and fall, but financial intelligence ensures you're prepared for any scenario and will consistently spot opportunities to leverage your knowledge. There are typically two types of investors: those who buy packaged investments, which are simple and hands-off, and those who create investment opportunities for themselves. The latter group can be considered professional investors, and they often make far more money than they initially invested. If you aspire to become such an investor, there are 3 key skills you need to master. Recognize opportunities, grow your wealth, and leverage smart networks. Identify hidden opportunities. Your ability to see opportunities that others miss can be the key to creating wealth. By sharpening your insight, you can spot investment opportunities that may not be immediately obvious to others. Grow your money. While the middle class typically relies on banks for funding, successful investors focus on growing their capital through various channels, minimizing dependence on traditional financial institutions. Leverage smart networks. Surrounding yourself with intelligent, driven individuals can significantly expand your wealth. Successful investors understand the value of collaboration and networking to multiply their resources and opportunities. Work for learning, not just for money. The path to financial success. Successful individuals often position themselves among other smart, capable people. When making investment decisions, choosing the right advisor is essential. While this might seem daunting, the rewards are immense. Life involves risks, but mastering how to handle them is crucial for true wealth. This brings us to the 6th lesson. Work to learn, not just to earn. Let me illustrate this through a story. A journalist once interviewed Robert, having admired his writing style from his articles. During the conversation, she shared her ambition to become a famous writer like him, but she felt her career wasn't progressing. Robert asked her what was holding her back. She mentioned that she had been offered a sales course, but thought it was beneath her. What she didn't realize was that Robert himself had attended a sales training course early in his career. The key takeaway is that raw talent alone is insufficient. If you cannot effectively market your skills, they remain underutilized. Learning the art of selling is essential, and there is no shame in mastering this skill. In fact, no successful salesperson should ever feel embarrassed about their profession. One of the key contrasts between Robert's rich dad and his poor dad was their approach to work. His poor dad constantly worried about job security, believing that having a steady job was the ultimate goal. In contrast, Robert's rich dad emphasized the importance of constant learning and growth. To achieve lasting wealth, one must continue to learn throughout their life. In traditional education, specialization is often rewarded. For example, doctors dedicate years to mastering a specific field, such as pediatrics. However, true knowledge is gained through diverse experiences, working in different industries, and learning from various environments. This is when your understanding and expertise truly expand. Perhaps this is why Robert's rich dad took him and his brother Mike to meet professionals like doctors, accountants, and lawyers. When Robert decided to leave a prestigious, high-paying job to join the Marines, his educated but financially struggling father couldn't understand the reasoning. Robert explained that he wanted to learn how to navigate the real world, manage teams, and face the challenges of running a business independently. After returning from Vietnam, Robert left his job at Xerox and joined their sales training program, not for financial gain, but to overcome his fear of selling. This step was vital for his personal and professional growth. Robert eventually launched his own company and shipped his first product. If it had failed, he could have gone bankrupt, but he took the risk, remembering the advice from his rich dad. Before 30, it's essential to take risks because there's time to recover. Most employees are paid just enough to keep them in their jobs and avoid getting fired. They focus on their salaries and the benefits their companies offer. While this mindset may work temporarily, it won't lead to long-term success. Instead of staying stuck in this cycle, focus on learning as much as you can now. Don't wait until you are entrenched in a specific profession. Once you commit to a career, it's challenging to break free from it. The key takeaway: learn to take risks, learn from others, and learn how to handle your fears. Now is the best time to start your journey toward financial independence and personal growth. I hope you learned something new and valuable from this video and that you liked it. Friends, liking this video doesn't matter to me as much, but from my heart, I say that making such videos takes both time and effort. When you like and comment on the video, it feels like our hard work has helped someone, and we'll keep making such great videos. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Story Hub, and share this video with your friends and family. For more book summary videos, make sure to follow me. Until then, stay happy and always keep your family happy. Goodbye.